China officially is the People's Republic of China. It is a country in East Asia. It is the world's most populous state with a population of over 1.3 billion. The state is governed by the Communist Party of China, based in the capital of Beijing. China is the world's second largest state by land area. Their official language is Standard Chinese. China's current president is Xi Jinping. China's political system was known as dynasties since 221 BCE, when the Qin dynasty first conquered several states to form a Chinese empire. The state had expanded factories and reformed numerous times. The Republic of China replaced the last dynasties in 1912 and ruled the Chinese mainland until 1949, when it was defeated by the Communist Party of China in the Chinese Civil War. The Communist Party established the People's Republic of China in Beijing on the 1st of October 1949, while the Republic of China government relocated to Taiwan, with its present capital in Taipei. Both of the Republic of China and the People's Republic of China continue to claim to be the government of all China. The status of the freedom is not really free in China, and their freedom rating is 6.5. The political right is 7, and civil liberties is 6.
The legal system in the People's Republic of China, or PRC, is defined by the government as a socialist legal system. Despite the official definition, however, China's legal system is based primarily on the model of civil law. The Constitution of the People's Republic of China is the highest law within China. The current version was adopted in 1982 with further revisions in 1988, 1993, 1999, and 2004. In China, there are four levels of court system: the grassroots, the intermediate, the higher and supreme people's courts, in addition to special courts such as military, maritime, railways, and forestry courts. While the connection between economic growth and property rights is understood now more than ever, universal improvements must be made in order to keep up with an increasingly regulated global economy. The statistical strength between economic independence and protection of property rights in the 2015 IPRI continues the trend observed in the previous 8 editions of the index. Since 2007, IPRI has proven to be the most inclusive and far-reaching study on the correlation between property rights and economic prosperity worldwide. Even though China is ranked 53rd to the United States 15th, you can tell by looking at the graph statistics that China and the booming economy is starting to make a strong impact to be one of the dominating nations with overall IPRI. Gross domestic spending on research and development is defined as the total expenditure, current and capital, on research and development carried out by all resident companies, research institutes, university, and government laboratories in the country. It includes R&D funded from abroad but excludes domestic funds for R&D performed outside the domestic country. This graph is measured in millions of US dollars. The rise of China's tech industry is fueled in part by its growing investment in research and development. China research and development spending is expected to reach and then exceed Europe in 2018 and the US by 2022, which I believe could benefit a company looking to get into China's tech industry. China's environmental pollution has created a related challenge for companies. While environmental pollution can have a broad operational impact for companies, human resources are important to mention. 40% of companies report that air pollution and environmental issues have made it difficult to retain staff and transition international talent to China. Pollution has also increased the use of sick leave by staff in China, and it has forced some companies to change operations in order to comply with new pollution policies. Although China's population is 4 times larger than the United States and its emissions are close to double in size than the average American, is still responsible for twice as much greenhouse gas pollution as his or her Chinese counterpart.
So in China's economy, uh, currency is the renminbi exchange, and the exchange rate is 6.8. One Chinese yen equals about 15 cents in the U.S. China is a communist totalitarian country. They have a tight control over freedom throughout the government, and the president is Xi Jinping. China holds a very strict one-child policy per family. When it comes to economic freedom, China is rated at 52, which is considered unfree, and the US rated at 75.4, which is under the mostly free category. The world average is about 60.7, and the regional average is about 59. China has had an increasing line of free to unfree, but a small drop has occurred this year. Parallel to that, the US has had a slow decrease in the same freedom line. China's socialist market economy is the largest in the world and has the fastest growing rates out of all major economies. Second to China would be the US, and thirdly Japan. If trends continue, the World Bank estimates that China will become the world's largest economy by 2030. The ease of doing business with China is about average up against many other countries. China is ranked 84, while the US is ranked 7. Some of China's top exports include electronic equipment, which makes up about 25%, machines, engines, and pumps combined of 17%, furniture, lights, and signs 4%, along many others. Some of China's top imports are electronic equipment 22%, and oil 16%, machines, engines, and pumps together 9%, also with many others. So China's GDP is worth $10,866 billion in 2015. The GDP value of China represents about 17.53% of the world economy. GDP in China averaged 1,605 billion from 1960 until 2015, reaching an all-time high of 10,866 billion in 2015 and a record low of 46.69 billion in 1962. Up against that for the United States, the gross domestic product in the United States was worth 17,947 billion in 2015. The GDP value of the United States represents 28.95% of the world economy. GDP in the United States averaged 6,557 billion from 1960 until 2015, reaching an all-time high of 17,947 billion in 2015 and a record low of 543 billion in 1960. The ease of doing business in China deteriorated to 84 in 2015 from 83 in 2014. It averaged about 89.38 from 2008 to 2015, reaching an all-time high of 99 in 2012 and a record low of 83 in 2014. With the United States, the ease of doing business has stayed consistent at 7 from 15 to 14. The ease of doing business in the United States averaged 5.13 from 2008 to 2015, reaching an all-time high of 7 in 2013 and a record low of 4 in 2009. The China foreign direct investment has increased 5.1% year on year to 69.42 billion in the first 6 months of 2016. Foreign investment in the services sector went up 8% to 48.9 billion, representing 70.4% of the total FDI. In contrast, foreign investment in the manufacturing sector, which accounts for 28.3 shares, it shrank 2.8 to 19.5 billion. The United States and the UK and Germany were among the top 10 sources. In June, FDI surged 9.7%. FDI in China averaged 415.63 from 1997 until 2016, and reached an all-time high of 1,262 in December of 2015, and a record low of 18.32 in January of 2000. The United States FDI is increased by 35,823 million in the first quarter of 2016. The FDI in the United States averaged about 22,614 million from 94 until 2016, reaching an all-time high of 46,165 million in the second quarter of 2011, and a record low of negative 9,988 million in the fourth quarter of 2001. China's corruption rank, they're 83 least corrupt nation out of 175 countries. According to the 2015 Corruption Perceptions Index reported by Transparency International, corruption rank in China averaged 67.81 from 95 till 2015. This reached an all-time high of 100 in 2014 and a low of 40 in 95. The United States corruption rank is 16 least corrupt nation of 175 countries. According to 2015 Corruption Perceptions Index reported by Transparency International, corruption rank in the United States averaged 17.76 from 1995 until 2015, reaching an all-time high of 24 in 2011 and a record low of 14 in 2000. The social culture of China, they contain about 1/5 of the world's population and is the world's fastest growing economy. The Communist Party enacts strict control over most aspects of the Chinese people's lives. Chinese marriage and family, the Chinese put a tremendous emphasis on family ties. For men, carrying on the family name by having sons is a major goal. Many men remain at home with their parents in order to take care of them for old age. Even married couples often live with parents. Once a woman is married, she is expected to join her husband's family and often moves under the same roof as her in-laws. The management culture in China, there's differences in management culture that can have a big impact on employee and company performance, often having a good understanding of what these differences entail and how they can influence your work. It can go a long way in helping you overcome many of the obstacles that can hold you from performing your highest potential. The management culture in China and the U.S. The U.S. and China have become closer trading partners in the last decades, making it quite common for people from both companies to work together on a regular basis. In a meeting between President Obama and President Hu in 2010, Hu said, "We both agreed to further push forward the positive, cooperative, and comprehensive China-U.S. relationship and commit to work together to build a China-U.S. cooperative partnership based on mutual respect and mutual benefit, so as it is to better benefit people in our own countries and the world over." So, collectivism versus individualism. China society has preferred collectivism over individualism. Studies have shown that Chinese managers now have internalized some Western values, such as individualism, and more traditional values, such as loyalty and responsibility. However, social obligations to higher authority and to the family are still deemed very important to China, even more important than rules directed in protecting the individual.